Hey everyone, what's up and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be reviewing the 1980 Friday the 13th. Repping Michael Myers today, but we're not talking about Michael today. We are talking about not so great movie Friday the 13th. I don't know if that's an unpopular opinion or not. Make sure to comment down below what you think of Friday the 13th, if you like it, if you don't like it. I'm very curious to hear all of your thoughts as always. But yeah, I wanted to show you guys my Halloween shirt. You can't like see the whole thing, but it's cool. I think it's a very cool shirt. I got it at Spirit Halloween. And I'm excited to finally talk about this movie. Even though it's one that I don't really enjoy, I still think it's one that I've always wanted to review just because it's such an iconic horror film. And when I saw that somebody recommended it, I was like, oh my god, finally I get to like talk about this. And one day I do want to do a Friday the 13th like franchise review series, but for now and for 31 Nights of Horror this year, we're just gonna talk about the first one. So without further ado, let's get started. A group of camp counselors are stalked and murdered by an unknown assailant while trying to reopen a summer camp which was the site of a child's drowning in a grisly double murder years before. So I want to talk about what I do like about the movie, and one of the things that I really like, and maybe this is something that I like because I didn't really know about it, but every time I think of Friday the 13th, I have always associated with Jason. And when I watched this movie, I was almost very surprised that Jason didn't come out because Jason was not the original killer. I had watched Scream way before I saw the first Friday the 13th, and like that was one of the trick questions that Ghostface asked, but it never really registered to me that Jason really doesn't come out until later on in the franchise. And I personally think the twist in the movie works pretty good, that it's actually Jason's mother, Mrs. Voorhees. But I am going to counter that by saying that I think for me it was a good twist because I personally thought I was going to be Jason, you know, because like I said, I associate Jason with Friday the 13th. But I feel like as somebody who watched that when it came out, or I guess somebody that, you know, doesn't really associate it with Jason, I think the reveal is kind of weird because we didn't really know the character before. Like, his mother doesn't really come into the equation until she's about to be revealed as the killer, and it almost makes it obvious that she's going to be the killer because she comes in and she's kind of looking all mysterious and stuff, and then she's revealed. So I kind of wanted to start off by saying that because I'm interested in knowing what you guys think of Jason's mom being the killer. I think her motivation honestly makes sense. Like, she's kind of crazy, cuckoo. She's like gonna go kill everybody because of this thing that happened to her kid, even if the camp counselors at the moment don't have anything to do with it. I think personally, if they were gonna do that, you know, I wish they would have incorporated her into the storyline maybe a little bit more. If you guys have seen American Horror Story, then season 1984, it reminds me a lot of Friday the 13th, but way better. And I think if you guys do enjoy Friday the 13th, or I guess this type of horror, you might really be inclined to watch that show, and especially that season. But I'm not gonna spoil the season, but one of the main killers in that season, the twist was really good, and I think if Friday the 13th did exactly what that show did, the killer reveal would have been so much better because it was shocking because we knew her already and we didn't expect this from her. But with Jason's mom, we don't really know much about her. I can't lie and say that the first time I saw this movie, I was like, oh my god, Jason's mom, because I just didn't think of it. But I wonder what audiences at the time when this movie came out thought. So if any of you guys saw this movie and, you know, you didn't have that preconceived notion that Jason and Friday the 13th, I'd love to hear your take on that. So basically, the characters in this movie, in my opinion, are not that interesting at all. I feel like they're all pretty dumb and don't really have a lot of qualities to them that makes me want to root for them, or I just don't even think they make them good people. I feel like the characters in this movie are just plain, like, I guess, horror stereotypes without any depth or anything. Like, they're gonna have sex, they're gonna die type situation. And a lot of the times with this movie, it feels almost like predictable in a sense, because you know that all of these people are just going to die. Like you feel it from the moment the movie starts. And I think an effective slasher, yes, a lot of people are going to die and you expect most of them to, but there's still some surprising people that survive and some kills that like surprise you in a way because you didn't think it was gonna get them. And personally, I don't think the final girl in this movie should have been the final girl. Like, I didn't really care at all for her, but to be fair, I didn't care about any of them, so I guess I really would say the same thing if any of them were the final girl and stuff. But the acting is not really that good, and there's literally a scene where like the reaction is delayed for when they see the body, and there's a lot of like really weird effects and just editing choices that just make this movie look really cheap. I mean, this movie was made on a low budget, so you kind of notice that, but I think a lot of the things that were done have aged so badly. And I honestly think Friday the 13th is kind of a really boring horror movie, and I don't really think horror movies are boring a lot of times, because even if I'm not super interested in the plot, there's still a lot of stuff going on. There's still enough stuff going on where like I'm engaged and I want to find out what's happening. This movie, even though it has a really short runtime, I genuinely kept checking like when it was ending, because I think it's boring and I don't know what about it they could have done to make it better. I think maybe something is just making your characters a little bit more likable, or at least just make them more characters, because I can't even say I dislike them. I just don't feel anything towards them, and that's never a good thing, because even if I were to dislike these characters, at least I was having like, you know, something towards them. But here I literally like, I don't care about anything. I will say that I think the first kill in the movie was pretty effective. Like, I like the girl, I think her name was Annie. She was you know, she was trying to get a ride to this place, and I like that whole scenario. And there are some really good kills. There's one where like there's like a arrow that goes through the guy's neck as he's in bed. So there are good kills in this movie. I'm not saying there's not. There's definitely like a little bit of suspense, but I think for the most part it ends up just being really flat and boring, which is never really a good thing. And I will say that something that really did get me in the movie is one of the last moments in the movie, one of the last scenes. Our final girl, she's like on a boat chilling, and then like Jason comes and like there's like a jump scare and the music is going crazy and stuff, and then she wakes up in the hospital room. Like, honestly, that got me. Like, I jumped. That was the only moment where I was like, okay, I am alert right now. But I wish that energy was kind of given through the whole movie throughout, because it could have been so much better. And I know that this movie is regarded as a classic for a lot of people, and a lot of fans of horror movies just really like this movie, and it spawned a lot of other slasher tropes and stuff. But personally, I just don't really think this movie has a lot to it. But this one is one that I just don't like, and I don't know if this is an unpopular opinion. I'm super excited to hear what you guys have to say down below. But with that being said, I'm going to give 1980s Friday the 13th a D. Even though I gave it a bad grade, if you haven't seen the movie, I still think you guys should watch it, make your own opinion, and let me know what you think about it down below. And I'm curious what you guys think of the entire franchise of Friday the 13th, if you guys have seen it, and I'd love to know how it compares to like Halloween, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and stuff. But thank you guys so much again for watching today's video and supporting my channel. Make sure to like and comment and subscribe if you haven't already, because it would mean the world to me. And I am posting every single day for the month of October, and we have a lot of more reviews coming and cool stuff, and my short film at the end of the month. And I'm currently about to start working on another short film. I'm currently writing the script and it's in development, so a lot of stuff is coming, both from reviews and also just my productions. So I'm excited for you guys to see everything. Thank you guys again so much for all of the support. Make sure to stay spooky, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye everyone.